The group that plotted to assassinate Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the throne of Austria, was called the Black Hand. The group's sole purpose was to train Serbians for a possible war between Serbia and Austria. They made the rash decision to kill Archduke Ferdinand in 1914 in order to get Austria and Serbia into war. Ferdinand was the nephew of Franz Joseph, Emperor of Austria and King of Hungary. Ferdinand was married to Sophie Chotek von Chatkova. They had 3 children together. Ferdinand's uncle was not a fan of marriage and refused to go to the wedding. Sophie was pregnant yet again at the time of the assassination.
The Black Hand wanted to unite all territories that contained Serbian people. They were a main cause of World War I. The anti-Habsburg/anti-Austrian student group called Young Bosnia also helped with the assassination. The first weapon of choice to kill the Archduke was a grenade attack by Nedjeklo Kabriniv. That was unsuccessful. The night before the attack, Illich handed out weapons and placed 6 men along the route Ferdinand was going to take the next morning. The weapon which successfully killed Ferdinand was a handgun Princip shot twice and hit both Ferdinand and his wife. The Archduke and his wife were in the city of Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. He was in the city to inspect their armed forces since they were annexed from Austria-Hungary.
Earlier that day, a grenade was thrown at their town car. It was overthrown and exploded in the car behind them. Franz was quoted to have said, "So this is how you welcome your guests."
Nedjeklo Kapranovic was responsible for that missed attack. He was not the man to actually kill the Archduke and his wife.
This operation took extensive planning. Danilo Illich was the brains behind the operation. He recommended an end to the revolutionary organizational building and to use direct action instead. He knew he had to be extremely secretive and hide the identities of the 6 assassins in order to not be caught.
On June 28, 1914, Ferdinand was in Sarajevo. Tragedy struck when the Archduke's secret police accidentally got in the wrong vehicle. The police protection of the Archduke was limited to 60 all around town. More would have offended local people.
Another reason Ferdinand also came to Sarajevo was for a reception at the town hall. He interjected the mayor's welcome speech to say, "Mr. Mayor, I came in here to visit, and I get bombs thrown at me? This is outrageous."
A life-and-death mistake happened when the driver took a wrong turn and had to turn around near a cafe. This would be extremely helpful for Princip because it created the perfect opportunity to strike.
The weapon Princip chose was a .32 caliber, which is a low-powered gun, along with a pocket-sized pistol. The killings, the arms race, nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and the alliance systems were all causes of World War I, which is exactly what happened a month after Ferdinand was killed. Princip first shot Sophie in the abdomen, and then Ferdinand in the neck. Witnesses heard Ferdinand say to Sophie, "Don't die, darling. Live for our children." She died en route to the hospital, where Ferdinand died on the scene because they could not get his clothing opened to stop the bleeding. The other members of the car thought Sophie had fainted, not died. But she did die from internal bleeding on the way there, and no one knew exactly
All assassins were eventually caught. Anti-Serb rioting broke out in Sarajevo. Princip got 20 years, as well as Nedjeklo Kabranovic. Austria-Hungary sought Germany's help, and Serbia sought Russia's. A month later, on July 28th, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. After that, the peace between Europe's great powers collapsed. Within 1 week, Russia, France, Belgium, Great Britain, and Serbia were all up against Austria-Hungary and Germany, and World War I had begun.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand's death was a huge factor of World War I and how it began. If the Black Hand had never intended to target Franz Ferdinand, none of this would have ever happened and World War I could have been prevented.